so strong, girl. I can feel you slipping away. I can feel it. I can feel it. Tell me now how you want. Tell me now how you want. I can feel it.
Yo, what's good, man? What's good? Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday, y'all. We made it. We made it. We're here at another weekend, man. How's everybody doing out there, man? How y'all doing? How y'all week been? How y'all week been, man? How y'all doing out there? Hope everybody's having a great week. Entering the weekend on a high note. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, it's snowed in over here, dog. We not going nowhere. It's froze over, icy everywhere. Yeah, but I got what did I do? I got my run in today. I did 4 miles on the treadmill. They switched the treadmill in our complex. Thank God, because the other one was literally, I think it was adding to the knee pains that I was getting. Because I started getting leg pains and stuff when I started using that old treadmill that they had, so I stopped. But that one is good, so I'll probably lock in on that when it's, I just don't feel like running outside for whatever reason. But yeah, we're locked back in, man. We're locked back in. Just trying to get into the swing of things, trying to get back into the groove. Figuring this whole situation out and the scheduling of it is difficult at times, but we're trying, man. We're trying to figure it out, but we're here. It's Friday. Everybody out there, by the way, I hope everyone in LA is all good. The people are able to evacuate your homes, everything. I hope everyone over there is able to get everything settled out. Excuse me. But yeah, prayers up to all of those people. We'll talk about how it affected the NBA in just a little bit, but prayers up to all of those people and to everyone else in the cold, the cities, the states that aren't used to having cold weather. Stuff is frozen and there's ice and black ice. I hope y'all stay safe too. A number of things could happen due to that, so try to stay warm. I guess don't go outside too much. What is the point right now? But everybody out there stay safe, man. I hope everybody out there stays safe. And I appreciate y'all. Let's get right into this show today. We got a couple of things that we got to talk about. So welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any other topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. Now today I guess we'll start right here because we already mentioned the wildfires in Los Angeles, and they ended up postponing last night's Lakers game. And I'll be honest with you, I saw a little bit of, what was that, the Wednesday game, right? It was the Clippers against the Nuggets. I don't know why they had that game either. Like, it was still going on Wednesday. You could tell that the Clippers were not into that game. Like that, there was genuinely, and I really mean this, there was genuinely no reason to have that game on at all. At all. And they ended up taking a loss because of it. The Lakers game gets postponed. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm sure they were just worried about family, friends that's in the area. You know, a bunch of those guys have, you know, been there for a little bit. So it's just a really unfortunate situation. But yeah, like that, I was half watching that game because there was, like I said, there was really no point. There was no point at all. That game should not have happened. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So today we'll be talking about the battle, right? A battle took place on Wednesday night. And it was between the two best teams in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm about to sneeze, y'all. I can feel it. Let me try to find this other game as well. Where is this other game? All right, well, whatever. I'll look for that in just 1 second. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, the number one defense and the best team in the West, took on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have the number one offense. They lead the league in field goal percentage and 3-point field goal percentage, right? So it was really, and I'm not saying that the Cleveland Cavaliers don't have a very good defense, because they do, but they're just not, you know, a top 3 defense. And then the same with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They don't have a bad offense per se, but they're not a top 3 offense. So it really was a battle of offense versus defense. And I wanted to start here because, you know, that old saying, right? There's that old saying, defense wins championship. And with the matchup that we saw the other night, to me, right? To me, it kind of proved that is not always true. I wanted to double check. So the offensive rating, not only do the Cavaliers have the number one offensive rating, the Oklahoma City Thunder are 8th. Are they? Okay. And then on defense, the Oklahoma City Thunder are 1st and the Cleveland Cavaliers are 10th. Right? So it really is a matchup of offense versus defense. And the Cleveland Cavaliers took the victory 129-122. And the first thing that I want to highlight is the Oklahoma City Thunder give up 103.4 points per game. They've had a number of games that are under, where the other team is under 100 points. And so for the Cleveland Cavaliers to go and put up 129 points against the best defense in the league, a historically great defense. 1, kudos to them. But 2, I think it really does show defense is extremely important in the NBA, right? I don't want to downplay how important defense actually is, but better offense will trump better defense all day of the week. all day. And there's a number of things that, we're going to talk about when it comes to this game. But in terms of just that big picture, offense ultimately really does win out, right? And the Cleveland Cavaliers showed that. All right, what is the first thing that we're gonna? Okay, so this is so let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers offense, right? When you look at basketball nowadays, right? They always say everything is about twos and threes, right? Everything is all about twos and threes. And when you think about how, where is this here? When you think about how the game is played, right? I think there are times where we blame the players, but we forget that there are coaching staffs and there are other powers at play, right? So let's take a look at what Dwight Howard had to say about this. I wanted to bring this up.
And I'm so frustrated at the fact that teams are making me play with my hands tied behind my back. They only want you to rebound. Don't look at the basket. If you get the rebound, throw it out.
I remember one game, it was like, all right, I'm going to have Trae play 2-3 games, then I'm going to have you from the next 2-3 games. But when we got to that game, he told me right before the game that you're not going to play. And I'm like, man, why am I even here? So then, during the game, DeAndre gets mad at the coach and cusses him out. And the coach looked down and, bitch, Dwight, let's go. All right. So I come in the game, dominate, we win the game. And he didn't play me the next game. I remember the first day, catch on the break, come down, cross somebody up, throw a no-look pass. Dwight, we don't want you dribbling the ball. So I come down again, pass it, get it back, 3 at the top of the key. Dwight, we don't want you to shoot the ball. I'm like, damn, go.
You know why I did that?
Yeah.
It's not
so. There are coaches and general managers and owners that have this type of control and power when it comes to the NBA, right? And I think a lot of viewers look at it and blame the players. Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And, because coming up, we see guys play one way, and then they get on these teams and they become role players, and all of a sudden, right, it's something totally different. And so I think it's important to understand that there are things like this that happen which impacts the way bigs in particular play. And that brings me to my next point, right? Because the way that bigs now play is totally different. Always good, Elijah. We talked about it before. That's why I think guys like Wemby appear better. Guys get the ultimate freedom. Oh, facts. I wonder if I can see, like, this is the thing too, right? When you go to highlights, you don't see the plays that don't work, right? Yes, they do have the freedom that players previously didn't have. That is 100% right. Everything's all about offense nowadays. But there is something that the bigs on the Cleveland Cavaliers do that bigs nowadays do not do. When bigs, actually it's right here. It's perfect. And this is on the guard and this is on the big, right? But bigs nowadays, right, in a pick and roll situation like this, right?
Incredible.
Right.
Especially now
Jared Allen is coming up.
squaring off the
On a pick and roll situations like this, a big is typically going to get below this hash mark. That's typically when they get the ball. Because the idea is they don't want the bigs to even put the ball on the floor. They just want them to lay it up or dunk it or kick it out. But
against each other.
Something that you'll notice with this Cleveland Cavaliers team, with both Jarrett Allen and Mobley, right? They'll catch the ball at around this area. I think bigs nowadays catch the ball too deep. So when you catch the ball too deep, you get stuck in no man's land, especially if you aren't able to get a shot up. And giving them the ball a little bit earlier gives them the ability to make a decision, right? They're big enough to be able to take off and get a shot right from here. Or you get a lot cleaner kickouts like this.
There's Jarrett Allen, kicks it out. Wade gets a good look. First points on the
And it's part of the reason why their field goal percentage and 3-point field goal percentage is so high. Because when guys get the ball really deep, they're in the teeth of the defense. They have to kick the ball out through contact. And you get these guys who, I mean, they do it 2 times in a row right here, right? Their goal is to allow their bigs to be in a spot to make plays, not just their guards, right? So we see Jarrett Allen right there. He's catching at the free throw line. And what you see with the Cleveland Cavaliers is when you switch Allen for Mobley, Mobley can hit that shot. Mobley he could pop out. He could flare out. It gives a lot, even more freedom. In the game today that we were just talking about freedom, right, Elijah? It gives even more freedom to these players. Jarrett Allen previously, and this is also a testament to him, right? He was never known as a playmaker. Those are 2 great passes that he made. And a part of it is the team is putting them in the position. And look at this. Look at this. And look at the little adjustments. And this is why I love watching games from start to finish, y'all. Jarrett Allen was catching the ball at the free throw line, right? Caught the defense coming up. He's able to make a play, right? One's a kick out to the left corner. The other one is an alley-oop. When he gets a catch below that hash line, what is it? It's a dunk. And why? Because Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams now, you have to play him. You have to play him for that now, right? Because if he gets here, he's making a play. You see Shea is already trying to slide on over, but gets right behind him. It's a split-second read. Not only are these Cleveland Cavaliers so extremely well coached, you could tell that the players are reading and they're understanding why they're making the reads that they're making. That's why their offense is so good. The next play, Jarrett Allen he just digs in and seals, I think, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Drop step to a dunk. And the other part in it was this, right? And this is coaching, right? And this is what I'm here to talk about. This is what I geek over, right? 7:25 in the first quarter. Boop, boop. There's a dead ball. And there's a substitution at the 7:25 mark. I'm like, who the fuck is coming in at 7:25? Donovan Mitchell goes to sit down. And what is it? Evan Mobley, right? I hope I'm not fucking up his name. Yeah. Jared Allen. So Evan Mobley and Mitchell sit down at the 7:25 mark. Right? This is really important. At the 7:25 mark, they sit down. And so that leaves the duo of Darius Garland and Jared Allen to kind of run the show. Their two-man action, right? And I was sitting there like genuinely trying to figure out why. Trying to understand why you would take him out, why you would take those two players out so early, right? Most of the time, especially in the first quarter, coaches will leave the player in till like the 4 minute mark usually, right? Sometimes they'll play them the whole first quarter. But guess what they did at the 4 minute mark? Another timeout or a dead ball. Garland and Jared Allen go and sit. And guess who comes in? Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. And I was like, oh, I get it. I was like, I get it, y'all. I get it. And I'm here to tell y'all what it is. From my POV, right? This is what I think it is. One, their coach understands that there's only one basketball. Fully understands that, right? There is only one basketball. So all four guys are great. But only one out of the four can have the ball in their hands at a time. And the reason that they took, I actually want to get his, let me see. Excuse me. There you go. Kenny Atkinson, right? I wanted to give him his credit. So the reason Kenny Atkinson takes out Mitchell and Mobley and leaves Garland and Allen in at the 7:25 is why. Darius Garland is more of a finesse kind of player, right? He's the point guard. He's shifty. He's going to get in the lane and shoot his floaters. He's going to shoot his jump shots, right? He's more of a finesse type of player, which is totally fine. He's unbelievable too, by the way, right? And then you combo him with a Jared Allen who lives in the paint. Anytime he catches the ball, he's going towards the rim. Like we've pointed out, it's not always to shoot, but his whole objective every time he catches the ball is to go towards the rim and make a play. So 7:25, right? So I think Kenny Atkinson is banking on maybe Jared Allen could pick up some of the personal fouls along the way, right? Early on in the quarter. And then boom, at the 3:30 mark or whatever it was, Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley come in. And it makes sense. And this is some old school basketball tactic, right? You swap the guards to a guard that's very aggressive going towards the rim. Donovan Mitchell can draw fouls going to the rim. He's a very physical guard. And then you combo him with a big that is also a combo big, right? Evan Mobley, his growth has been, he's been a more physical big. He's taking contact towards the rim, finishing at the rim, using his spin move, all of those things, right? But to prevent him from clogging up the lane because you have a Donovan Mitchell who's in attack mode to end the quarter, You pair him up with an Evan Mobley that can hit jumpers. It's so simple, but it is so fucking smart for Kenny Atkinson to think about the game the way that he does. And so now, closing the half, you have 4 guys who have all touched the ball in the areas where they're successful. So now they're in rhythm to close halves out. And then, they close the game out. That's why there isn't the butting of the heads. And I'm sure that they had to mature and grow over the last 2 years to get to this point and to be able to share the basketball. But Kenny Atkinson is also making it easier for them. And I thought it was just so smart. It was so smart. And they, here's the thing, right? The Oklahoma City Thunder only have Hartenstein. They're waiting for Chet Holmgren to get back, and I genuinely think he would have made a massive difference in this game. And the reason I think that Chet Holmgren would have had success in this game is at some point, was it like I think it was the third quarter. It was the second or the third quarter. I think it was the third quarter. The Cleveland Cavaliers started pulling out a 2-3 zone. And even on pick and rolls with Isaiah Hartenstein, they were in the super drop. They wanted him to catch in space and try to make a play. Don't let him dunk it, obviously. So he was stuck shooting floaters. He missed a whole bunch. And he ended up, he ended up with 18 points, but he took 14 shots. Right? 8 assists also, because like I said, they were forcing him to make plays. But that zone really messed up the Oklahoma City Thunder. It took all of their momentum out because Shea likes to work from the middle of the floor. Now, I feel like possession to possession, it's hit or miss whether he's going to get a pick and roll or not, because he likes to attack his man one-on-one. And he's really comfortable in that, right? So, how do you take the ball out of his hand? Well, if he's going to attack from the top of the key, just put 2 people on him in a 2-3 zone. Force them to have to make shots, especially Isaiah Hartenstein, because they're going to stay out to the corners. Hartenstein gets the middle, and you just let him do his thing. And that's where I think the Oklahoma City Thunder really lost this game, because 1, it was working for the Cavaliers, but 2, they were in that zone for a long time. It was too long, if you ask me. They needed to figure out a way to break it a lot sooner. And in my opinion, right, if Chet Holmgren were in the game, he would have been able to break them out of that 2-3 zone a lot sooner, because he can hit the mid-range shot. Now he'll force them to come up. He can go around them, dunks, kickouts. If he ends up at the 3-point line, they're scrambling. He can hit the shot. I think he would have been able to break them out of that 2-3 zone a lot sooner. And then also, obviously, on defense, he would have helped a lot. He would have helped a lot. I mean, J-Dub, shooting guard J-Dub, was guarding either Jared Allen or Isaiah Hartenstein, or or Evan Mobley pretty much the whole game. It was one or the other. He was getting pushed around. Like, he was getting pushed around. And, you know, the game just looked extremely difficult, right? And then the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were getting down on the other side, and they were just executing their offense. And they got the victory. It was back and forth all throughout. I mean, just a genuinely unbelievable game. Just a really like an unbelievable game. You know, to the viewers, right? To the people that are complaining about boring NBA games and it's just all the same and all this yada yada yada. Again, are y'all watching all of these games? Yes, granted. There are some teams that are shooting way too much threes and the defense, but here's the funniest shit, right? Here's the reality. Every year, there's a good portion of the league that fucking sucks. Newsflash. Newsflash, right? Like, newsflash. Every year, teams fucking suck. Like, every year. And then we have teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder and teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers that put on games and performances like that. Excuse me. What are you saying no to, Elijah, by the way? What you saying no to? No, they watch playoffs and Christmas complain the rest of the year, but when they watch during those times, they say it's good. It's like the people that only go to church on like Christmas, like Easter. Don't go at all the rest of the year. You know who I'm talking to. But, you know, there are some really fun games to watch out there. Like, there's been a lot of really close games. There's been game winners. People are having career years, career nights. We've had it all this year. We've had it all. And, you know, I was so happy seeing the Cleveland Cavaliers win that game. Because, one, it validates them, right? One, it validates all of the wins that they've had. Whoever's saying they're not actually that good. I know I've had questions about them, but seeing that performance against an elite defense with an MVP candidate who's carried that Oklahoma City Thunder team for the last 2 years, I mean, they really had to take them down, and they did. Like, it wasn't no fluky shit. There was no controversial ending. Like, they beat them straight up. And do I think Chet Holmgren could have made a difference? Yes, but they can only play who's in front of them, and they play next week. So I'm super excited about that because we get to see how the Oklahoma City Thunder adjust. And I think that there are definitely some things that they could do, right? They can try to start trapping the guards higher, make the bigs catch it closer to the three-point line, mainly Jared Allen. Force him to shoot some of those mid-range shots, floaters. Don't give him such easy shots, and I think they'll be able to adjust a little bit. They're a very scrappy team, and they move a lot. So, you know, we'll see. And it was just a 7-point victory, and it was still a tight game. So, they're right there, right? So, we'll see. I also may love the game too much. I'll put on a game specifically to watch. a Jared Vanderbilt or a Quincy Acey. No, I feel you. I feel you. Like, I think we're in an era now too where, I think I was watching a video. They said kids know all of these basketball stats and numbers, and they know all these players, but some of them don't sit and watch entire games. Like, I geek out about like the substitution pattern or like the timing when they'll do certain things. Like, maybe I just really do love this game and I can see some of the nuances to the game, but genuinely, I do think a lot of this is just narrative driven bullshit, and it's when it goes to NBC is when the narrative is going to shift, because they want their new business venture, and by they I'm talking about the NBA, they want it to look good, right? So sort of downplaying some of the things that are already happening. Like, I think there has been a shift in the NBA. Are there a lot of teams that are shooting threes? Yes, but we have teams like the Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We have the Knicks that don't shoot a whole bunch of threes sometimes, even though they pissed me off. But that's besides the point. It's besides the point. Now, I wanted to talk about the Battle of the Aliens, because we saw Wemby taking on Giannis Antetokounmpo, and when I say Giannis was not fucking around, like, he was not playing with these boys. Like, it was very clear that he was trying to be extremely physical, and some would say to impose his will on the game. They ended up winning 121-105. They were in Milwaukee, so they were letting Giannis, push everybody around. And the real surprising thing for me is Wemby had 10 points. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 3 blocks. 4 of 10 from the field. He only took 3 shot attempts in the second half. And I wanted to take a look at, where is it? I wanted to take a look at this because, like, this guy is absolutely unreal, right? Like, this guy actually is unreal. Let's see.
25 points, 5 of 8 from 3. He needed a shooting night like that. Here's one.
Like, what are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? A guy taking those shots with that confidence, I don't give a fuck what is happening in the game. You cannot take 7 shots in the first half and then 3 in the second. It can't happen. It can't. Like, I get it. Giannis is shoving everyone around. There was one moment it looked like Wemby flew. It looked like Wemby genuinely flew off of a little shoulder from Giannis. In a playoff series, I don't see that working. Yes, granted, right? No, he did not have a good game. He did not have a good game. He just wasn't aggressive at all in the second half. I can't. I'd rather him go 4 for 24 at that point than go 4 for 10. Like, if you have the balls to take those shots, have the balls to take more shots. Don't shy away. And I think that's the thing about Wemby, right? He has all the creativity. You can see it. Like, you can't make moves like that and not be good. Like, you can't. It wouldn't work. But you also can't shy away when the bully comes in the yard. Like, no, you got to be doing the same shit that you were doing before the bully came in the yard. My man said, oops, I was trying to be nice. Listen, man. If we try to be nice to him, we are doing him no favors. He is really good at basketball. Off of natural feel, I'll tell you right now, I think he's really good because some of the little reads and the movements are really, really great. When he can establish some go-to moves that he could do every time down and just counter off of them, he's going to be literally unstoppable. And yes, he obviously needs to gain some weight, but in the meantime, hit these guys with spin moves going in the lane, with Euro steps. Hit him with some more finesse shit until you put on the muscle weight and you can go through them. But he is too talented to be putting up 10 field goal attempts. I know, like, one day we're complaining about how much he's shooting, right? But, like, he also can't take 10 field goal attempts. Like, what? Like nah. Like, that can't be happening. There's no world where 1, 2, 3, there should be 4 guys that have the same amount of field goal attempts as him. I mean, that have more field goal attempts than him. There's no way. That should never happen. He needs post work. I will say too, though, I don't think he fully understands how to get position in the post. Like, you'll see him like running through the lane. He got like his hand up sideways. It's like, no, motherfucker, put your body on someone and move them to the spot you're trying to get to. Like, he don't even understand how to get into a spot. He needs post work. While he needs to get bigger, stronger, faster, he also doesn't need to. It's a mindset he can develop in a month. And that is true. That is true. Something my dad always taught me, right? When I was learning, he used to take me to the basketball court. And he'd be like, put your arms out, right? Put your arms out. He would tell me to put my arms out and spin. He'd be like, spin, right? And I'm like, what am I doing? I feel like, what the fuck am I doing? Like that, this is dumb. Like, what am I doing? And he goes, all right, when you have your arms out and you're spinning, that entire 360 is your space. You need to own that space. No one takes that space away from you. That's something my dad instilled in me when I was extremely young. And I took it with me, honestly, in anything, right? Like, you don't allow someone in your space that you don't want in your space, especially in competitive sports. So that led me to fighting for literally every inch. Like, if I'm leaning on someone, right, I can't, if there was like a line that showed where the halfway point is, like, I wasn't trying to let them be the person on my half. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, little things like that I carried with me just because of that one ideology. So to your point, Elijah, I do think it can be a mindset thing as well. His length and height means nobody can deal with him right now. When he look in the mirror, the league is cooked. Like you just said, stuff like positioning. Yeah, like, it's just a matter of just owning your space, owning that spot. Like, all right, if there's someone here and I'm trying to go over there, the rule book says they have to let me go, right? We can fight or whatever, but they can't just fully stop me. That's a foul. So my dad used to always say, all right, if you're trying to get, then just shove the motherfucker. just move him. You don't have to be necessarily strong to do that. And then when you get to the spot, fight for it. But right now he's going through the lane like a fucking guard. Like that's how he runs through the lane. He don't get it. He don't get it right now. But Giannis was just on one, bro. Like he was doing literally everything. And also I think the thing about the team, like the Spurs, and I keep saying it, right? Anytime Wemby is at the free throw line, he needs to get the ball. He don't have to shoot it every time, but he needs to touch the ball anytime he gets to the free throw line for free. And there was a couple times, right? I think it was Devin Vassell. I think I may have seen Castle do it where they literally looked him off. So, aside from Wemby, the team has to be looking for that as well, too. All right. Okay, here's the game plan. Anytime Wemby gets any type of solid positioning at the free throw line, you throw him the ball. All right. Break. Like, it don't need to be super complicated, right? Play through him. If they're going to leave him in single coverage at the free throw line, he needs to turn and shoot 9 out of 10 times. If they double him, we play basketball. It's so simple. He's going to dictate pace. He's going to dictate how the defense is going to play. He's going to be able to dictate so much if he can control the literal middle of the floor at his size. But that's just my tip. We'll see what happens to them moving forward. Let's see. What else we got? Where was this? Hold on, I'm just trying to find where was this on Tuesday? This might have been on Tuesday. Let's see. Oh, yes, it was on Tuesday. All right, let's take a look at this, y'all. Just real quick.
The movement. Collier. It's deflected by Daniels. Sexton for the tie. Oh!
Like Colin Sexton is tough, bro.
Trae from midcourt to win it. Yes! He hit it! Trae Young hits a three!
Colin Sexton is tough. Like, I'm just saying right now, Colin Sexton is different for that shot. But for Trae Young to come right back, hit a half-court game winner. And oh, by the way, right? Oh, by the way, he had 24 points and 20 assists and only 2 turnovers in 36 minutes of play. Shout out to Trae Young. He hasn't quite gotten the credit this year, right? But he is playing at an unbelievable level. And I get that it hasn't completely equated to winning, right? They're 19-19 right now for 9th in the East. But Trae Young has just, he's been so unbelievable this year. I want to take a look at his numbers really quickly. 22 and a half. Let's see. 22 and a half. 40% from the field, 33.9 from 3. 12.1 assists. I mean, he's just having, I think he's having a hell of a year, I'll be honest with you. The way he's been able to adjust his game, he's someone that's gotten a lot of criticism over the couple years. He's been the villain. I get he gets a lot of shit from Knicks fans, but wow. I mean, it's the Utah Jazz, right? Granted, it's the Utah Jazz. You shouldn't even be in a 3-point game against the Utah Jazz. But it is what it is. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about before I get out of here is just it's really an add-on because I wanted to talk about this the other day. I just completely forgot about it, or I missed it on my paper as well too. And I think for me it stands out with the Boston Celtics, one because they do it all the time, but also I think there's a video of Jason Tatum talking about Chris Paul, right? And how there's a 2-for-1 and how Chris Paul taught him there's a 3-for-2 or whatever the fuck it is, right? If you get the ball and shoot it at whatever time on the clock, I think it's like 50 something seconds, you can get 3 possession, whatever his thing is, right? But I have a real problem with the way the 2-for-1 works nowadays. Because yes, if you chuck up a 3-point shot with 36, 38 seconds left, there is a good chance you get the ball back for another possession with 36 minus 24. That's roughly 10, 16. That's roughly 12 seconds left on the clock, right? And I hate it because of this reason. And that's usually typically how it works out, right? A player or a team will rush at the 38, 36, 34 second mark to chuck up a 3-point shot. So usually they're literally just going to run up and chuck up a 35-footer, praying it goes in. Then the other team gets their whole 24 seconds, and then you'll get roughly, depending on the clock, 12, 10, 8 seconds left, right? Usually inbounding from the opposite court, right? So you have to bring the ball down, which takes about 4 seconds. So 12, 10, 8, minus 4 seconds from any of those, right? That's how much time you have to get another shot off. And typically they're chucking up another fucking 3. So the reason the 2-for-1 for me sucks is because it's a statistic. Yes, there's a chance that you can make a shot. There's a chance you could score on 2 possessions. It doesn't take into account what those possessions look like. So I would personally rather trade in those 2 shit possessions where you chuck up a 3-point shot just to get a shot off. I'll trade that for 1 good 24 seconds. Because now your team can run the offense. You could run what you think. You could run what you want and get a consistent result because you're running a play that you're used to running instead of running up, chuck a 3. The other team now gets to run their offense for 24 seconds. They'll try to milk the clock. They might get the offensive rebound, but even if you get the rebound at 12 seconds, you got to go dribble down. Typically what? They're going to run a pick and roll. Someone's going to do a dribble move into a step back. They just had 2 bullshit possessions trying to get this 2-for-1 thing when at 35 to 40 seconds, you could have just ran your regular offense. Just who's the better team? Just run your shit going into the half or to end the quarter. It blows my mind still that teams, coaches, and players really look at it like that. That they would rather trade 1 good possession for 2 shitty possessions where you're chucking up some bullshit 3. And the Boston Celtics are they're probably the number 1 suspect. They do a real shit job of using the 2-for-1 because they're getting off. Honestly, if you think about their numbers, right, and the way they do their 2-for-1s, excuse me. Let's say they're getting like about 1.5, almost 2 threes off at the end of quarters. That's like 8 bullshit 3-point shots that they're putting up that are super low percentage to end quarters, right? That's adding to the numbers of the bullshit threes that they're already taking in the middle of the quarter. And then you get to these shitty percentages, guys aren't in rhythm. I personally think just run your offense, get a good possession, close the quarter out. But hey, that's just me. I don't know a fucking thing, but that's going to do it for me for now, man. Thank you guys, as always, for joining me. I know we were talking a lot about the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder today, but I genuinely think that they deserve it. Both teams have been unbelievable, and they have been just the example that you want when you're looking at how good basketball could be played nowadays, because it could be played at an extremely high level. So shout out to those teams. I'm looking forward to this weekend, man. I hope y'all got some fun stuff planned, but that's going to do it for me for now. I will be back Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. Y'all have a great Friday. Thank you guys for joining me. As always, y'all could have been anywhere on the internet. I mean, anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate y'all for that. So thank you, man. I appreciate you, Elijah. Thank you guys all for joining me. I'll see y'all later. Stay safe out there, man. Peace, 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 peace.